Hello everyone and welcome back to another YouTube video. It's been a while. I've been very laxy days with it. I had so much more commitments elsewhere, unfortunately, with Vanquish and other stuff that we're currently doing in the US, which is massive, taking up the majority of my time. So I haven't been as active on the charts as I'd like to, but I feel like I owe everyone a good breakdown on the Euro where I'm seeing things going into Q2, Q3 and Q4 at the end of the year. And starting from the monthly, weekly, working our way down, identifying my zones, identifying what I'm looking at, and hopefully just trading and go from there. So yeah, that's all. Just break it down. Okay, so we're on the monthly chart here on the Euro. Now we are. As you see, we've got that monthly close above of this buy side liquidity here, which is really, really nice to see. But let's just break it down from the start. So obviously, we had this low here at 0.95361. That was a low that was put in the market, and then we obviously see price rally. In doing so, we left some monthly imbalance, which I've got highlighted here. And then price started ranging in this zone for quite a while. It was accumulating. And then we saw price obviously take out this high here with the wicks. And what did we see price do? Roll straight over. Nobody closed above this high, and came back and kind of rebalanced back at the imbalance, and then officially taking out this low in the market here, okay? So that's kind of what we saw price do, swept that to sell side liquidity, rebalance into the inefficiency in the market, and then we saw price drive up from there again and push higher, and that's what we start seeing here. So with this move up, we had the body close above the buy side liquidity, we've left some areas of inefficiency in the market, which obviously we can capitalize on. So the first sort of golden one for me is this monthly balanced price range, where there's inefficiency either side of these monthly candles. So higher time frame traders is going to be a perfect area for them to potentially target. And if you just look at sort of the swing point from there to there, it taps back into that sort of 0.62 Fibonacci golden zone to perfection. So a lot of higher time frame traders are going to be looking at this zone. So it's something you should definitely take in consideration and not to leave out. Okay, and obviously we've got this monthly BPR right here, running through here, which goes through multiple inefficiencies here. So this is a really nice target as well. 3 layers of inefficiency running through this price point here between about 1.1 psychological level. So that's where lots of people are going to target as well. So eyes peeled on that one. So on the monthly chart, what I'm expecting, small pullback still, price to trade up back higher into monthly and buy side liquidity. Okay, but now I'm going to go on the smaller time frames and see what that looks like on smaller. So let's jump on weekly. So this is now what it looks like on weekly, where we've got a bit of more depth, I guess. I'm going to end in my weekly analysis. So we had this weekly imbalance, which obviously was violated, invalid. Price did come into it, but like I said, it's breaking straight through. So we might get a body close above it. But as you can see, the wick straight through, so kind of invalid right now. I'm not really too interested in this zone. And then we also had this weekly zone in here that matched up with the monthly BPR. So once again, really nice zone to target. So all in all, there's a lot of, I would say, there's a lot of reasons to want to come down to the 1.07 mark, then look for longs. It might not necessarily happen. This monthly BPR might be enough, but still can't rule this zone out. This 1.07 is a beautiful zone in the market. We can't rule that out whatsoever. So it's just about when price like this, you've got to assess what's going to happen, what's the probability, and lower time frames to kind of not dictate, but tell you where we're kind of heading. The higher time frame, we have our points of interest, but if price wants to move from this BPR, then it will do, and that's what we do on a smaller time frame to kind of locate that. So that's on the weekly and the monthly, but it's now adding daily. So now the daily zone, so you can see, is a lot more in depth. So let's jump on the daily chart. So what I'm going to do now, hopefully this is nice and clear for everyone in here. So I'm just going to hide a bit of the noise so it's a bit easier to see. So I'm going to take away the weekly analysis. And so what I'm going to flicker through from the daily and the monthly. So this is sort of daily analysis. As you can see, we had a daily imbalance, which was wicked, rejected, and then obviously broke straight through. So price was pulled to that form of imbalance, and obviously we're taking out these highs in the market. Let me do 4 hours. Yeah, 4. Okay, 4 hours doing that. Okay, cool. Yeah, cool. So obviously taking out this buy side liquidity here, smash straight through. But just looking on a daily, we have these daily zones as well, which are matching up with so daily balance price ranges, daily imbalances all the way down here. And I've put back on the monthly analysis. There's a lot of reasons to come back down into this monthly BPR, which is very nice to see. And just looking at how price is kind of rolling over here. Once again, this monthly BPR is calling everyone's names and it's coming by the sounds of things. But once again, the daily zones as well, they're a strong indication that price might want to come down to these daily zones as well, because this is quite very balanced, very liquid price action. Liquid price action. Price is very balanced. So yeah, we might see what price want to come down and fill some of this inefficiencies down here on the daily time frame. So that's it. Well, as you can see here, we had that shift here, sweep of those lows in this monthly imbalance. But on the daily time frame, this is what it looked like. Shift from the bottom, market structure shift, price come back, retapped, and then away you go. And that started the bullish trend to take out this buy side liquidity here. Okay, that's the daily imbalance there. As you see, kind of rejected, so kind of invalid, and price looks like it's probably going to trade a bit lower. But yeah, I did have a really nice setup that potentially I might look to take depending on variables on the lower time frames. But on this daily chart, once again, this is kind of what we're looking at. Potentially this is now invalid. Of course, that's broken through, but I'm still just had it on just for like training purposes, just so you can understand what I'm seeing. That imbalance broke straight through, you see there, and then price is tricking up. We've got some shooting stars, these wick formats. So price pushed up and came straight back down. So it might not be ready for the push that we're looking for right yet until we come down lower. So just some stuff to take into consideration, that's all. But yeah, I'm trying to look at the monthly, daily chart now. That's what we're seeing. So yeah, so going into next week as well, we also got these key levels, which I haven't drawn on. So we've got our previous weekly low. Previous weekly low at here, bottom. And then we also have our previous weekly high. So going into this week, I'm going to look at these levels in the market. And see what we can do. Just either take those highs, take those lows. They're the two low points of this week, so I'm looking forward to it. Either going to take this low, tap into the monthly imbalance and push away, or this is the wick low, and then we're going to just push up from there. So interesting. Okay, so this is now the 4 hour. So let me get rid of the daily, monthly. So we just got these in here now. So this is the previous weekly high. This is the previous weekly low. As you can see there, let me just drag these across now. Now, my analysis on the 4 hour is, so let me put on daily. So this is the daily imbalance there, as you can see. And then we've got these daily lower zones down here that hasn't been touched. We've obviously had this almost formation where we broke out of this, trading lower. That kind of formation still hasn't taken out this high here, which is really important. So one could definitely still say we're bearish, but what I might show you on the 4 hour is quite interesting. So 4 hour. Okay, so this is my 4 hour analysis, what I had going. This is basically last week. So we had the daily zone here. We had the 4 hour, which was obviously that 4 hour imbalance was confirmed, and we pushed away. The only thing about this is that we didn't give a market structure shift. Okay, we failed to see price take, and that's why I had it as the target. Okay, we failed to see price to take that target. So my original analysis was to see this as the swing up. As you can see here, I've got my fibs in there as the OT, and I've got my BPR running through there, expecting price to push away from there. But it failed to do so. It has came into this level, but it was late Friday, and yeah, it was late Friday and there was no position. But if that was early on, I would look for the swing. But now just taking all things into consideration, that's last week's, and this is obviously what I'm looking at. That's obviously previously, that's last week's. I got this imbalance in here. So what I'm looking at is potentially was these highs here. So that's my target here. Those local highs, previous weekly high, and this high here, which obviously was the high that came down and tapped into for imbalance. But looks like price basically should have developed a bit more here early on in the week for this to be a nice setup. But of course, going into next week, price is already here. We're going to need basically see price do a lot on the lower time frames, and I'm saying I probably want to see like a 4-hour high get taken or structure shift and then push back down into there. Not so much just of here now, because obviously we tapped into the 4-hour imbalance. That was a push away. This is now correction back down, and away we go to track this buy side inefficiency here. It's been my target basically forever. I kind of need to follow order flow, and that's essentially right now is we've got the high here, taking out this low, got a low here, another low here, probably just going to see price tap back into here and trade low and take that previous weekly low, just based on all the analysis I had. So even though I'm still would like to entertain this, I'm not entertaining it too much going into next week. Probably be more looking to entertain potentially the sells and then come back further into, yeah, so we've got this monthly zone running through here, the monthly BPR. I feel like that's the magnet. I feel like that's what the higher time frame traders and everyone else are going to want to trade. So want to see this now essentially trade back up into somewhere here and then look for the sells back into that monthly BPR. Take out this 4-hour low, take out pre's weekly low, and then once we sweat that low, we'll take the sell side that's resting underneath here, and then from there we'll then see that push back up into hopefully the buy side and further. Still obviously very bullish on this bet. I think like overall in the next couple or to the end of the year, 1.195 is probably going to happen for the euro. It's just right now, it's just how we're going to get there. So just expecting price to trickle down a bit further and come down into these levels, and then potentially from here would be the deciding point. So from here would be like, okay, are we going to get a shift break and a continuation type of thing, or are we going to melt, break through like this is nothing, pull back, break, and then from here we're going to start seeing. So that's the monthly BPR. From here daily, everything. Yeah, so from here, this is when we're going to see the accumulation phases, manipulation, distribution, and from there we're going to see the big push back up. So this is plan A, this is plan B, but the end goal is always going to be up here and up here. So it's just how we're going to get there. Okay, so lower time frame, still favouring sells. We haven't actually had major structure shifts. No highs really taken, nothing convincing. No real intent to take highs because no highs have been taken. So we're still bearish order flow. So still looking for sells. So just continuation of sells essentially into more prominent areas. So that's kind of a market overview on the euro going into next week. That's kind of what I'm looking at. Further sells into higher time frame zones, and then from there look for the switch. Obviously, if price does want to quickly present himself here going into next week, and we get a push back up into the previous weekly high and then down, might entertain that as well. But that's the thing with trading. You have to plan so many scenarios. You don't know which one's going to work. You don't. And anyone says they do, they're lying to you. No one has truly mastered the charts, because everyone, well, if you truly master it, you win every trade, but you don't. You're going to lose some trades and you're going to get some wrong analysis. That's bound to happen. But if you forecast and plan and collect data so many times, you can come, it's almost like the weather, you kind of can predict it. So you can predict it to a certain amount, but it still doesn't matter because all of a sudden something could change. And that's the same with trading the Forex market. So that's why I have to play devil's advocate all the time. That's why I have to think of both scenarios. I can't just be completely, look for sells. I've always got to be devil advocate, where it's just like, it could also be bullish. And if that's the case, how does that look? But the probability right now for me is favoring the sells into that monthly balance price range where I've got my eyes. Take out the previous weekly low, and then from there, potential switch. If not, that's going to break straight through and we're going to come down into these higher time frame zones down here. So yeah, guys, that's kind of all in a euro full breakdown. And this should serve quite a long time because this is a full top-down analysis on this. So this video you can watch multiple times and look back at it and check it and see how we ended up. But yeah, guys, that's kind of all on the euro, where I'm seeing price go. And yeah, probably long time coming, but come and tack up all this, because you got to see it right now is we're in this dealing range massively. 0.25, 0.75. So when price gets above the 0.25s and 0.75s, it's frantic. It's frantic buying and frantic selling. So as you can see here, what price done, when we got to the 0.75 of this overall dealing range that we're currently in, where we've got the sell side, buy side, we saw buy step into the market. So it indicated that sellers didn't actually want to push price drastically down into this level. What we did instead, we started trading back up, back to the 50%, as you can see there. So we had some rejection, and then now price broke straight through strong and then start pulling back. So what we're seeing price doing right now is probably start pulling back, come back to the 50% of this range, find some equilibrium, and then that's when the decision making is going to happen, and that's where the M1 BPR is. Then from there, then we're going to get either buying to the 0.25, or we could, like again, it's the forex market, could have come all the way back down to there. Unlikely, but who knows? And then if we get to the 0.25, the destination from here to here will be frantic. I'm telling you now, it'll be such a fast move. It'll be so quick, because that would be the nearest point of liquidity, and everyone just be like, well, yeah, that's where I'm going. Bang, straight up here and sweep out whatever's up here and what's resting above here. So this move from 0.25 all the way to this frantic bang, fast, and it will get there. So we're in an interesting time on the euro. I think there's a lot of money to be made. You just got to position yourself in the right manner. Okay, but that's the dealing range we're currently in. Ooh, what did I do there? Here we go. That's the dealing range we're currently in, and yeah, guys, as you see, look, 0.5, 0.5. Look how it respects it throughout the whole of this. It respects it nicely, and then 0.75 respects it nicely as well. So yeah, looking forward to see price come up into there, especially how we didn't tap it with this. So I think this is just a bang, bang, up, bang, lovely, and then from there, bang. Cool. Right, guys, thanks for watching. Really do appreciate it. I know it's been a long time, but hopefully this video makes up for it. This is a full breakdown on the euro. If you want to see more videos like this, please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.